Rise and shine. It's time to get the day started with the morning show of record for the Homestead community. It is the Farm to Table Direct Show morning edition. And good morning, everyone. Hope you all had a great weekend. Today, the subject question is: have government subsidies ruined agriculture? We'll get into that shortly. Once again, good morning, Rebecca Touch Beyond. Good morning, Joy Bartlett. Glad to see you both in this morning. Uh, I know some of y'all may have been on last night in the Sunday night social or ice cream social, whatever you want to call it, Homestead Sunday. I was briefly in with Red Dirt Rooster Road, but I was prior to that tied up with some family watching Super Bowl a little bit and doing some other things, and then when I did get home, I was working. Thanks, Jack. Appreciate that. Yes, hit the thumbs up. Thank you. Good morning, Jack. Glad to see you, or well, hear you, see your little thing. Hope you're off to a good Monday morning. I know it's nice and chilly. And speaking of that, let's go on over to the Redneck Weather Report. Let's check in with old Jack over there. All right.
Well, good morning, Rednecks. It is 36 degrees, February the 10th, 2025. Got a 9 mile an hour north wind, making it feel like 28 degrees. Chance of rain this afternoon, 42 for a high. God bless y'all. We'll see you again tomorrow.
All right. Well, thank you, Jack. Appreciate that. Um, it's pretty cold out there. I think winter's coming back around. Good morning, Scotty. Good morning, Robbie. Glad to see you all in this morning. My morning crew is fully assembled. We can begin to proceed through. I hope you all had a great weekend. Like I said, and I said earlier, I was tied up with family and taking care of things this weekend. Busy weekend, and you know, had a few things going on, and that messed. I say messed up. It put my schedule out, and then I don't watch a lot of football. I listen, keep up with it, but son-in-law invited us over for dinner and hanging out for a while, so I did that. Then I got in on the late part of the Sunday hangout on the chat for a little while. But as I was had the Super Bowl on the TV, working on this show flow this morning, and trying to reply to text and keep up, so it was a busy evening. But we're going to get on into it, and we're going to jump right into today's reality smackdown. U.S. House Speaker to pursue one big bill on Trump's tax agenda. But the Democrats may push back. There are some Democrats indicating they're willing to shut the government down to because of Trump's all the cuts and everything. They're a little upset about it. But anyway, one Democrat said, fellow Democrats open to shutting the government down in March if Trump's recent actions to slim the federal government are not halted. Yeah, I don't know because their minority leader ain't even going that route. But anyway, we'll see what happens come March. But relax, folks. Good morning, there, guys. Morning, Todd, Robin, whichever one's listening. Glad to see you there with us. Uh, don't buy into the government. The whole we've had the government shut down before. Life went on. Don't buy into the to the hype train. Everything is a lot of this stuff is auto funded. Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, military. A lot of that stuff is auto funded, and they just like to use it for the media hype and pressure. And oh my goodness, when it's a way to pass what they really wanted to pass, try to use that as leverage. But so don't buy into it. And Trump did it before. He's no stranger to it. So anyway, we'll see how that goes. Now today, Trump said supposed to announce today that he will impose 25% tariffs on U.S. steel and aluminum imports. So we'll see how that goes. That could drive the prices of steel up. And Trump said in the show the other day that he expects Musk to uncover billions in fraud and abuse inside the Pentagon and DOD. Yeah, probably so, just like every other government agency. Uh, the Defense Department is highly necessary, our defense of our country, but yeah, there's definitely those of us that have been in the military, we know all about the fraud, waste, abuse campaign. But anyway, we will see. Uh, hey, last night the Philadelphia Eagles won Super Bowl 59, defeating the Kansas City Chiefs 40-22. and that score did not reflect the real game. It was much more one-sided. Uh, Quick little side note before I go any further. Tomorrow night at 7. Uh, yeah, exactly. You are absolutely right, Robbie. It doesn't affect them. They're still going to get paid, and so is a lot of other people. It's like I said, it's a stunt. Has been for years. Don't buy into the gimmick. Uh, anyway, some of you, Keith and I, reached out with text and emails and posts on Facebook and stuff, and about these two next topics. One, we're going to be breaking down in depth tomorrow night on the show at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on our regular weekly show. The first is Oklahoma Senate Bill SB 939. And we're going to break it down further, but it basically has to do with um, milk, dairy sales, milk and dairy product sales off the farm. Oklahoma raising the quantity, the incidental sales, advertising, all about, well, they say raw milk. Good morning, Tracy. Glad to see you and on time. uh, yeah, glad to see you here with us. Anyway, man, the whole morning cruise in. It's a good day right there. A great way to start the week with you guys. Anyway, we're going to break down SB 939. It is this morning in Oklahoma City. The Senate committee is having a meeting. This is on the agenda for the meeting this morning. It is not yet gone through the full. It's in the process of the legislative session. It's a very important bill. Keith and I worked with Brian from Okie Farm and Hatchery. He was working with senators and representatives and stuff to craft the language for this. They have a House bill that was also crafted by somebody, and we'll get into that tomorrow, but I'm just not happy with the language on it. But this SB has great language. It is a definite step in the right direction to giving more freedom back to the farmers and consumers, producers and consumers. So we'll break that down more tomorrow. And then likewise in Arkansas, there's Arkansas House Bill 1048 that has cleared the House and is at the Senate. This morning is scheduled to go on the agenda in the full Senate for a vote. And if it passes the Senate, then it'll be off to the governor's desk or there. But and what it does is they've already got their quantities and stuff up good. This is more about off-farm sales, third-party transportation. So basically what it'll do is it'll allow raw milk products from goats, sheep, cows, etc., to be transported off farm, sold off farm at third-party stores and etc., like farm hubs and farm direct stores. So big push for both of these states. We'll break those down more in depth tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right, now that we've done that, time for this day in history, February 10th. Now this is going way back, but I believe most of everybody here is a believer of some form. So read the Bible maybe at least once, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, 60 A.D. Paul, the Apostle Paul, thought to have been shipwrecked at Malta. So that was allegedly on this day. That's where they think. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, that's just an interesting one that caught my attention. So we're going to jump way forward, like 1,803 years to 1863. First U.S. fire extinguisher patent granted to Allenson Crane of Virginia. So fire extinguisher been around a long time. I bet the old ones don't look nothing like the new one. But anyway, yeah, Tracy, lots of changes, yes, and good changes if they go in the right direction, get them through. Let's see where we at here. 1897, New York Times begins using slogan, "All the news that's fit to print." Oh, how they've lost their way. Oh, how they've lost their way. But anyway, 1933, the Postal Telegraph Cable Company of New York City delivers the first singing telegram. Good morning to you. Yeah, singing telegrams. I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing. Never had one. I don't think I want one. Yeah, that was definitely way back in time. Yeah. Yes, indeed, Jack. Yeah. Yeah. And definitely way back in time. And Tracy, lots of changes. Yep. There you go. Anyway, let's see. 1939, Stagecoach, Western film directed by John Ford, starring Clara Trevor and John Wayne, premieres in Miami. Interesting place for a Western to premiere, but okay. Hey, Stagecoach, early John Wayne. Uh, I've seen some earlier, black and white, when he was Marion Morrison. Anyway, 1962, USSR swaps Francis Gary Powers to the U.S. for Rudolph Abel. So that was way back 19, what was that, 62. And 1989, to gain deregulation, WWF admits pro wrestling is an exhibition and not a sport in a New Jersey court. Shh, don't tell anybody. Anyway, like the old wrestling, like to watch it. I grew up watching with my dad and stuff like that. Passed that on my son, likes to watch it. Anyway, it's yeah, we all know, but we all know. Anyway, I'm going to stop right there because I'll be honest with you, as I peruse through the headlines on this day in history going forward from 1989, there really just wasn't a lot that caught my attention. Plenty of stuff happened, just nothing I felt like was worthy of our time today. So that was this day in history. So we're going to jump right in. Let me see. Here we go. See if there's anything. Let me see. Nope, 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 nope. Yep, nope. That's it. Got it all. Got the titles. Got the news. Yep. So let's jump into this morning's comment. Have government subsidies ruined agriculture? That's an interesting question. That was an interesting thought process that came through my head as I was reading through a blog post and kind of read through it. I'm going to get into some of the blog posts here in a minute, but the idea that the government and its subsidies, often known as crop insurance by some people, uh, has he was almost 6 months old this day. That's I want to share it. That's a good one. I like that. It was almost 6 months old this day. Yeah, I was. Let me see. Yeah, yeah. No, haven't quite got there to my birthday yet. But anyway, that's awesome. Um, anyway, let's see. So where was that? Yeah, government subsidies in agriculture and the idea of crop insurance and kind of the this program that the federal government's got going and so many monocrop, particularly. I think it's created a monocrop in a more larger, commercial development of farming. That's the best way to put that. You go out and see these acres and acres of row crops, and whether that's because there's 6 crops that are on this program. It's cotton, sugar cane, rice, wheat, corn, and soybeans, and those are very large, thousands, hundreds of acres, thousands of acres, tens of thousands, I'm sure, across the country in these monocrops. Now, for those who've studied any of Joel Salatin, or even just whether you say him or not, but regenerative farming and farming, what I'd say the biblical way, as far as rotation of crops, what we've discovered working with nature instead of against nature, uh, keeping soil, water usage, and that type of thing, uh, and the monocrop running one single crop. I was driving after I read this article, and I'm driving and I'm looking at land as of where I live. There's a lot of crop and stuff, and I look out there, in what is land for sale, and it's got cattle on it, and it is barren. The grass. I mean, I know it's this time of year, but I mean, it's like uh, just really kind of see how much uh, land can be empty. I go into the bottomlands where I live, and it's just acres and acres, and it's like, and we're going to get into this. I want to stop messing around. Monocrops, though, are a big part of that, and it's created the growing that many acres and growing all that stuff. Yeah, if the crops live and make it to market, and goes into the commercial food system, goes into ethanol if it's corn, that type of thing. But let's kind of go through here. Terrible land management. That's the number one thing. Um, as I was reading, and it was Joel's article, And he was in western Oklahoma recently, and it was back in the fall. And it's through good years of rain during a fall drought. Irrigated cotton crop was destroyed by weather anomalies like wind and hail, which is fairly usual. This is prairie. Cotton isn't welcome here ecologically, but because of crop insurance or subsidies, farmers continue to grow it to receive the government check. And here's the kicker: if that's not bad enough, the rules of crop insurance require irrigation application from precious and dwindling underground aquifers in order to receive compensation. So even though the cotton was destroyed, farmers had to continue irrigating in order to receive the check. In other words, farmers are required to pump water on the cropless acres to do their part in salvaging it, even if there isn't anything growing. And I agree with Joel, this is insane on every level: economically, ecologically, energy wise, and labor. Uh, the idea of, crops have been killed, they're dead, they're not coming back, and yet you got to continue to water them so that you can receive the government subsidy or crop insurance to cover that lost crop. And I didn't put much thought into it till I read that about, cotton, because I know my mom, when she was young girl, growing up, they traveled out west to New Mexico and out in that area harvesting, and a lot of that was cotton. And I picked up cotton in West Texas and places like that. Um, and yeah, this windy, barren, dry areas, plains, dry plains. And but then, I think back to my dad, and I think back to other people who cotton was grown, primarily in the South, in these environments that we live in down here in the southern states. And so, interesting shift that they moved it out into these barren things. And so, I don't know. Uh, and it's just amazing to me that, you know, how the management, and you go by this and you see acres just destroyed in a sense because it's not being managed properly. And particularly, he brought up in that article about the water aquifers and the fact that when you go, our water aquifers are drained to some of the lowest levels in history because of things like this. Now we go through our droughts and our rain, but the underground water storage, the aquifers are vital. Anybody who has a well, has ever had a well, knows what that's like when, wells go to, that vein or that aquifer underneath, if it gets low, that changes things. And, when the overall water table's brought down because of it, yeah, that's crazy. Another thing I don't like about the government subsidy program is the fact that it is, like I said, there's only 6 crops that it's this program are: cotton, sugarcane, rice, wheat, corn, soybeans. So in a sense, it kind of picks the winners. They say what they want grown, and these are the ones that we're willing to cover. But if you don't grow those 6 crops and you're not in their little program, then you know you're not getting any government help. You're not getting any government assistance. Now, I've got my own thoughts on government assistance, and we'll get a little bit there in just a minute. But, um, you know, in a sense, to me, that's like picking winners and losers. Or picking the winners, the ones they're going to protect. Now, they say they're protecting the food supply, and maybe so, but I'll listen to this. There's times that they get more in government subsidy or crop insurance, and if I'm stepping on somebody's toes out here, I mean, I'm sorry. I just don't think that the government should be involved in agriculture, growing crops, and taxpayer dollars subsidizing this stuff that we're going to have to turn right around and pay for again. Um, but because oftentimes they would get more in subsidy or crop insurance than if it went to market. So there was no incentive for the farmers to bring it to harvest. In all honesty, it just wasted. I remember watching soy crops and all that stuff. Exactly, all about insurance, and you know they run it. It puts them running a business, running their farm, on a different way than they would if their lively, if it was done different. And I just don't think it's the right way. And like I said, it chooses winners and losers. Uh, Guy I used to work with got into row cropping. He had land he'd acquired, leases and stuff. row cropping soybean, row cropping, and had corn and stuff. And uh, he had corn and soybeans. And he was all about them putting the ethanol in the gasoline because he was going to get more money out of his crops that way. Um, you know, but yet at the same time, he was two different areas on his property, but two different areas in those six that he was growing these massive row crops. And it's like, I don't know, I just don't think it's good. And one of the questions, that I wrote down, and it's true, would we be healthier? Would we be healthier if? Would we be healthier if uh, the government, you know, was not involved in our food pyramid? You would we have far more, would we have less sickness if they weren't involved? Would we have far more productive agriculture, better land stewardship? Uh, if the government, would we be healthier? And if they had never told us what to eat, would we be would we have better agriculture if the government wasn't telling us how to farm? I mean, those are what if questions that have come into my mind. And, you know, I can't name very many things that got better when the government got involved. Very few things. It's not often, in fact, that when government is involved in regulating, gets better, especially when it comes to things that they honestly, most of them know nothing about. Uh, and um, I agree, Jack. We were, when they came out with the food pyramid, we didn't know any better. I mean, I didn't as a kid, and uh, it was upside down. It was out of order. It wasn't correct. And um, you go back to when the 1979 food pyramid, and when we came back to those things and how we started doing things, and people got sicker. There was a rise in, and the vaccines started going higher, and more vaccines, and the food changing, and look at everything we had. We'd share that, Jack. As I said, all too often the government chooses. We all know this is back the big guy with the one with the box that does not lead to healthy food options. And all the other pyramid stacks up to that point. Yeah, and that's it. You know, there's anything the government touches that makes better. I joked around the other night on over at Dale 9 Acres. If name one thing that bacon doesn't make better, and nobody had an answer. Right. Well, is there anything that the government does that they make better? Yeah, same answer. Can't really come down to it And so, I mean, when you start looking at what we ingest, and I'm guilty, I'll promise you, I am very, very guilty. I'm in this food trap, if you will, working on, trying to find ways to get out of it. Uh, you know, uh, See how that goes. We're working on it. Keith and I are working on it. He's further along on the getting off the bad stuff than I am, I can promise you. But, uh, you know, and then you look at, these farms and this government subsidies that they're basically guaranteeing, these farmers that do these crops, they're guaranteeing them a certain amount of money. Uh, and I promise you, ain't nobody ever guaranteed me that I was going to make a certain amount of money. Uh, or if what I was doing failed, I was going to get paid for it. And to me, that's you've removed incentive, for good, and you're wasting resources. Yeah, yes, likewise, Jack. Guilty as charged. Yep, and that's and military guys, I think sometimes get on the worst deal because we get in that routine when we're in of large carbohydrate consumption and high calorie diets and everything, and then we get away from it. We forget to change how we eat to match our new life, and then we end up you know worse off because of it. And I think football players and athletes, and at high school levels, and you know, they get big. My nephews, they got big to play football because they were big boys. They got, and then high school's over and they're not playing football anymore. And they're still big boys and they're still eating. And, yeah, it's led to some stuff. And yeah, I like that. I'll leave that up there. Health care program don't help. No, it does not. And I think you're correct on that. And that's one more thing that the government's gotten their hands in that with stuff. But anyway, so just subsidy nonsense. And I agree. I want to kind of wrap this up with you know traveling to different parts of the world. This is what he wrote: give you a visceral perspective of things. And Joel was talking about that we're talking about you said and Trump clearinghouse, and just where it's at, what they've done around the world, and we've heard the reports lately. So I mean, I'm hopeful that the USDA will get a similar shakedown. I know some of the farmers out there who maybe get stuff or or think the USDA there's good parts in it, and there probably is. But I just don't think that that we have it happen in my field too. People who've never done it, but they got the college degree and they come in there and they get sent out and they get told to tell these producers how to do stuff that they themselves don't know how to do, and it's the old system. And I just think that stuff that started back in the day, like these subsidy programs and everything. In all honesty, the same type of cropping, the same type of farming is what led to the condition of the soils in the 30s that led to the Dust Bowl of the back in the day and led to a lot of that going on. Is just improper land management and improper resource management. And whether you go look at BLM lands, you go look at these massive crop farmers, these massive cattle operations that are all part of this, and it's just like, man, there's got to be a better way. And then when you see that better way, it's crazy. But there's generation, it's you're not going to convince those people. I think most of the time that's the wrong way. So just one more reason for us to grow our own or to know people who do. But I'll leave that question out there: has government subsidies ruined agriculture? I think on a commercial level, yes. I think on that large scale level, yes. And there's so many out there that know nothing of regenerative farming and actually take care of the land, and that our food is our medicine as well. And so the less the government's hands are involved in anything, I think the better off we are. Provide for the common defense, and that's about it. Yeah, promote the general welfare, which just means make sure we're able to pursue, get out of our way, help people, no other way about it. So, I hope the Democrats are squirming as the government gets shrunk, all their little pet projects. But anyway, that is the wrap up for today. As far as the topic, so I'm going to go ahead and get through the rest and try to get on out of here on this Monday. Tip of the day. This was kind of more motivational, just kind of sometimes the way we got to be. So tip of the day: forget all the reasons it won't work and focus on the one reason it will. That kind of pointed and simple, but that's it. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and share that there. I know Norwich Waste said yes, they agree. And yes, and the government subsidies cost the big farmer to stifle the little guy. Yeah, certainly. And the little guys are allowed to fail. Like I said, there's nobody bailing you out. And so that's my take on it as well. But anyway, so forget all the reasons it won't work and focus on one reason it will. So whatever that is you're going to be doing in life, whatever that is you put in it, if you find that one reason it'll work, stick with it. And even if that reason is just for your own person, just for your own thing, focus on the one reason with more positivity in the world. And, yep, there you go, Tracy. So there's your tip of the day, Tracy. So let's move right into upcoming events. uh, February 15th. So that is, yep, that's this weekend. Southwest Arkansas Homesteading Conference, Nashville, Arkansas, put on by the Pike County U of A Ag Extension. February 21st, 22nd, Homesteaders of Iowa Expo 2025 at the Bridgeview Center, Ottumwa, Iowa. Our friend Monty Shrunk, the Suburban Sodbuster, is going to be there. So if you're up in that area, going through that area, go by there and check it out. If you're make plans to be there, if not, at least go over and check out Monty on the Suburban Sodbuster. March 1st, Boston Mountain Homesteading Workshop from 8:15 to 4 in Chester, Arkansas, right there in my backyard. March 21st to 22nd, Okie Homesteading Expo. The countdown is on, folks. We're getting closer and closer and closer. Anyway, Mays County Fairground, Pryor, Oklahoma. Tickets on sale now, $50 2-day pass. And a whole bunch of this crew is going to be there. I know they were talking about it. Well, everybody's talking about it, so we're looking forward to getting up there with everybody. Arkansas Homesteading Conference, March 29th, Cleveland County Fairgrounds, Rising, Arkansas. $20 for adults, 17 and under free. Up and coming event over there, trying to get a little bit bigger there. April 12th, New Beginnings Homestead Expo, Nowata, Oklahoma. You have a great day as well, Tracy. Bless you as well. And share that for everybody to see. Keith and I have been invited to come speak at that one. I know our friend Dwayne Hall is going to be there. Some others we're figuring that are going to be there, and I'm waiting on Chris to get a few more things together to share more of that. But that's at New Beginnings Homestead Expo, Nowata, Oklahoma, April 12th. We'd love it for any of y'all that are in the area to come on up and support this small. It's a one-day event, and the guy Chris Reeves, who's behind it, is doing a great job. But anyway, and yep, there we go. Scotty's the first one in with it this morning. The Shindig Ozark Living Expo, April 25th, 26th, Newton County Fair and Rodeo, Jasper, Arkansas. Check that one out if you're in the area. The Homestead Conference, Waco, Texas, April 25th and 26th. Adults, $99. Kids, 3 to 17, $13. Another Joel Salatin headed up, speaking at the event. But also that same weekend of the 25th and 26th is the YouTube 10 Killer YouTuber meetup here in Lake Tenkiller, Oklahoma. I will get the details out on that. I know that the campground and everything's reserved through the state parks. There's some email stuff that I will get a hold of and get that out. But anyway, so looking forward to that one if everything goes well. I've got a granddaughter due right around that time, so I can throw my plans off big time. But anyway, June 6th and 7th, Homestead Festival, Hardison Mills, near Columbia, Tennessee, June 6th and 7th. $75 general admission, kids 6 to 17, $25. That's a big with 5,000 plus people. That's a huge festival. Fast forward, Ozark Homestead Expo, Marshville, Missouri, September 5th and 6th. General admission $50 for 2 days. Kids 13 to 17, $15, and kids 12 and under free, but must have a ticket. And Oklahoma Homestead Rendezvous, McAllister, Oklahoma, September 26th and 27th, $15. That's one that we're a part of the planning committee on, sponsor of, speaker, presenter, and look forward to seeing a bunch of folks there at that one as well. Homesteaders of America Conference 2025, Front Royal, Virginia, October 10th and 11th. These tickets are dwindling. I don't know, they've very few left. So anyway, if you're out on the East Coast, look into this one, Homesteaders of America Conference. Jack, I will get that. I'll get that information, the contact information for that one. I'll get it. In fact, I'll get with Keith later today. We'll get with Chris and get it all out there so we can get that contact for you. And I will get it to you personally via text as soon as I get it. So anyway, folks. Yep, we're over a little bit, but that is a wrap for today on the Farm2Table Direct Show Morning Edition. Thank you all for joining in and as we explore headlines or stories and articles, etc., that are impacting our world now and for the future. If you enjoyed today's show, don't forget to hit that like button, give it the thumbs up. Share. Good morning, Teresa. That's okay. You can go back and listen to me drone on about government subsidies. But glad to see you join in and say hi this morning, Teresa. It's okay on a Monday to be a little bit behind, but at least you're here. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate it. But anyway, if you like it, hit the like button, share with your friends, subscribe to our channels on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Rumble. It is the best way to stay connected and help grow the conversation about food, farming, and community. So until next time, keep your roots deep, your vision growing. Good food starts with great people like you. And remember, we are hashtag stronger together. Be a blessing to someone today. I hope you all have a great day, good start to the week. Stay warm, stay dry. And I said, be a blessing to someone today. And we will see you all on the other side. And I'm going to send this over to Hank to take us on.
No humans were harmed in the production of this podcast.